Hello everyone, in the first episode of this tutorial you will learn how to create a drone in Unreal Engine 5, and as you can see this is final result of this tutorial. Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to use this drone asset from Sketchfab and it is free for download, and I put the download link in the description. This asset is modeled by Volunk username in Sketchfab. Alright, I have downloaded this asset and imported it to Engine. It has a GLB format, and as you import it you have a drone, a skeletal mesh, and also this animation which I'm going to use in this tutorial. Alright, first I'm going to create a duplicate of my third person template character. I right click and create a duplicate and I rename it to drone underscore BP. Alright, and I move it to my drone asset folder. I move it here. Alright, now I open my drone blueprint, and as you can see I have all of the movement blueprint codes here, but I don't need this jump function, so I disconnect it. I hold Alt and click on this execution pin and disable it. Now I go back to viewport and I delete this arrow and delete this motion warping. Alright, I select my character skeletal mesh and I replace it with my drone skeletal mesh. I click here and search for my drone. I bring it here. I select my capsule component and decrease the radius, decrease it a little, so now I scale this up because this skeletal mesh is the child of capsule component, and as you change the transform of this capsule component, the transform of skeletal mesh will change. I scale it up a little. Now I select my capsule component and decrease the scale to 0.5. Alright, now I select my character movement and search for movement mode. I change the movement mode from walking to flying, and I select my skeletal mesh, and for animation mode I select use animation asset, and from anim to play section I select my hover animation from this asset pack. As you can see, now the skeletal mesh plays this animation. Alright, another thing I should do is I first select character movement and orient rotation to movement. I deselect it, disable this one, and I active use controller desired rotation. This one should be active. Alright, now I compile and now I select my camera boom and search for camera lag, and enable camera lag. This gives me a smoother camera movement. Alright, now I compile and go back to my scene. Here from word settings, I have game mode override, BP third person game mode, and from default pawn class I search for my drone BP. Alright, I set my default pawn class to drone blueprint and run the game. As you can see, I can control this drone blueprint and I can move forward and backward with W and S key and move left and right, and also I can rotate with mouse to left and right. But as you can see, I have this sliding effect. Now I press W for only 1 second and as you can see my character slides, and I don't want it. I want to show you how to fix this. Alright, now I open my drone blueprint and select character movement and search for flying, braking, deceleration, flying, and I increase it to 550. Now I compile and come back to the game and run the game again, and as you can see this sliding issue has been fixed. Alright, now I want to add some input to ascending and descending the drone. Alright, I open up project settings. From input section I add axis mapping and name it move up / down, and for the key I choose for ascending I choose a space and another axis mapping, and for descending I choose for example C button. Set the scale of C to -1 and close project settings. Now I open up my drone blueprint and right click and search for the input that I just created. Alright, now I search for add movement input, connect it here. For scale value I connect it to axis value, and for word direction I right click and get search get controller control rotation, get control rotation. I drag a node and search for get up vector and I connect it here. Alright, now I run the game. As you can see, as I press space my drone ascends, and when I press C my drone starts descending. Another thing that I want to change is this rotating of drone. It is too fast. I want to make it a little smaller. So I open up my drone blueprint and from camera input I come here to camera input and get this node and add a multiply and multiply it by 0.4. Now as you can see my drone rotates slower. Alright, in this tutorial you learned how to set up your drone, and in the next episode of this tutorial you will learn how to spawn this drone by your character and swap between drone and your character. If this episode of this tutorial was useful for you, please like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.